Hi, today I'm gonna be talking about a YouTuber called Nick Shirley. I have nothing against him. I've watched some of his videos here and there. He goes to some interesting events, but he is very naive and he doesn't understand whose side he is on. And I'm not talking about the left or right side of politics. I don't care about that. I'm talking about something else. You will see what I mean.
Thank you, guys.
In a lot of his videos, he goes around thanking the police. You will constantly see that.
Thank you, officers. How's it going? Yes, sir. Hi.
And they smile at him, they watch his videos.
Thank you for what you guys do. Hey, thank you. Appreciate NYPD.
I appreciate you, and they say I saw you on TikTok. And the reason I'm showing this is because this is an incredibly bad sign. It doesn't really get any worse than this, because if the police likes your content, then what is your content about? Who is your content made for? Let me tell you a story. You will understand what I'm talking about. This was in around August 2018. I was in the Netherlands, in this super small town. I was working out at this small gym. Super small, it closed like a month later. And three guys came in, pretty white guys, at least one of them, the one I talked to. And I was at the time, I think, eating raw meat, because I was eating raw meat while I was working out, or maybe I was pretty much done with the working out. And he saw the raw meat, or I don't know what the reason was, but we started talking about raw meat. And I told him about my channel. He looked it up. He had his phone out. I think the video auto-played, the latest one. I'm not sure if it was the latest one, but I'll show you what I mean. Here, he goes on the channel, yeah? And maybe he also clicked on the latest video, because this is from July 29, 2018. Yeah, whatever the case, he clicked on it. And this is what I say.
What's up? What's up? You may not understand this because you grew up as a slave, but the police are Satanists whose job is to enslave you.
Yeah, to enslave you. And right away, he clicks off the video and he looks at me with this look. I don't know what it was. It was maybe anger, disgust. He was very strange. As in, how could you? Something like that. And he says, no, I'm a police officer. Or I work for the police or whatever. And this is the way they should react to your content. In general, I'm not even talking about people who work for this company. I'm talking about people who watch your videos, the general population, because if your content is appealing to the masses, which it isn't in his case necessarily. He appeals to the right-wingers more so, but still he reaches millions of people. Then there's something wrong with your content. Your content should make people question life. It should be offensive because it should offend their opinions. When a police officer hears me say this, then they should be offended. They should think, what is he saying? Why is he saying that? Let's hear what else I said. But he already shut off the video here, as far as I remember. It was very quick.
Protect the elite and punish natural humans.
Exactly, they protect the elite and of course the politicians also, and they punish natural humans and natural behavior. That's their job. In a prison, it would be the prison guards. They simply watch out what you do. For the most part, you're not allowed to do what you're naturally supposed to do. In London, for example, I was arrested for simply eating meat on the street. It was raw meat, but who cares? It's just meat. It's what we are naturally supposed to eat. The police came and arrested me for being natural. That's exactly what I mean.
I can get up to 3 years in prison here for trying to catch a duck?
Yes, exactly. In Germany, if you simply try to catch a duck in a forest, you can get up to 3 years in prison.
You know that you live in slavery when you're not allowed to hunt your own food.
Actually, this is a very good video. I haven't seen this since 2018. Wow. I was really saying all the right stuff back then already. Wow.
After a few years of doing the job, police officers get used to the illusion of power that they have and start beating up and
Okay, I'll stop the video there. But it's true what I'm saying.
What was up with that, like, when you went to El Salvador? Like, did they, like, pay you for that or what?
No, they paid me.
Because, that's real bad, bro.
What they did is actually amazing for that country of El Salvador.
Yeah, but have you seen the vids, bro? They have quotas, bro. They have quotas to get people. Once they arrested they arrested every single person with a tattoo. Like, that doesn't mean you're a criminal.
Yes, they had quotas in the US and also outside, and they sent them to this prison. It's even worse than that. It's just a building where they essentially torture the people. They are, a lot of them, imprisoned for life just for having tattoos and whatnot, without any actual proof that they really did anything. And now they sit there completely imprisoned, treated worse than a dog in a cage. And Nick Shirley filmed that as if it's a good thing that they do that. And again, that's why his content also appeals to the police and people who operate prisons and the whole system. His content appeals to the system insanely much. It cannot even appeal more than that. Let me show you what I'm talking about. This is the video. I'm not gonna show it to you, but you can see already here in the preview what's going on there. And they just sent them there, a lot of them, really without any proof. And there's really nothing that these people can do.
They had every single person that tattoo.
They had no due process. They had nothing. And they gave them quotas, so...
Pretty much the country was ran by gangs, and the only way to clean up the system was to do that.
We know the story, but...
And if you were to go inside that prison as well, you would not want any of those people outside.
And he says to clean up the system because he wants the system to work very well.
No.
In your streets. So, yeah, and I've been to both their prison
The
systems.
problem is, it was efficient in getting the gangs off the streets, but they gotta have some system of not nabbing the fucking innocent people.
And inside that prison, they also have a court system inside that prison. If someone wants to prove they're innocent, they can go ahead and do that inside the prison.
Sure, yeah. And they will for sure help you and they will do that, yeah. Is he really this naive? Maybe. I think he's really just naive. He's young, he doesn't get it, he doesn't get who he's fighting for.
Tell anyone if someone's arrested, they don't tell them when they're getting out. People would just wait outside the prison hoping.
Well, Second, they'll never leave.
There's no, do you think due process, like there should be...
He doesn't want them to leave. He doesn't even know who's inside there. It's so crazy, man.
Due process? Or like that would be too bad because...
Well, I mean, if they're part of those gangs and it's found that they have MS-13,
That's the thing. You know, they're just like
in that country,
the father
it was
breed,
desperate needs.
you know.
Yeah,
I really disagree, man.
I don't know. I don't support
I'm not an
criminals.
expert. I don't know how to like.
And this is a very key point here. He says, I don't support criminals. We'll get back to that in a second.
Yeah, well, he pretty much took the most dangerous country in the world to the safest. And obviously, so he took the most dangerous country in the world to...
Yeah, just the question is, for who is it safe now? This is another video of his where he goes to New York City and catches scammers.
How much?
Yo, what's up? We don't do no fucking camera. F the fucking camera.
Hey.
Fucking pushing.
Hey,
You heard?
hey,
Get out of here with that shit.
hey. Back up, back off, back off.
I said, fuck you with your camera. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. Who the fuck you work for? Bitch ass nigga. Who the fuck you work for? Bitch, who you work for?
And this is a typical example of guys who would never do this in nature, trying to provoke them, film them, do something which they would never actually dare to do if they didn't believe that the system is gonna protect them. And okay, wait, I'll show you what I mean.
Keep it pushing.
Why are you mad at me?
Take it over there somewhere else.
I am.
Yeah, you work for the fucking who you work for?
By myself.
All right, get out of here. With
Look,
that
I just
fucking
bought some
gimmick.
Rolex.
That's right.
Just bought a Rolex.
What's a Rolex?
It's a
Fuck
fake
outta
one.
here.
It's a fake one,
It's
so.
a fake one. Go to the fucking store and get the real one. Get the fuck out of here with your cameras. Snitch ass motherfucker.
You can see how afraid Nick is. Again, he would never do this, obviously, naturally. He's really relying on the system here.
But what the fuck is y'all here for? This is how the fuck we eat. That's how the fuck we eat. So get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, he says this is how we eat. Nick doesn't understand that these are probably the most natural people in New York City in many, many different ways. Because what they are doing essentially is hunting for prey in a different way, in a modern way. That's it. They are just hunting for gullible, naive people at the end of the day. And Nick is for the system. He's against nature and everything that's good, so to speak. He, of course, believes that it's the other way around because his mind is all twisted. He doesn't get it.
Leaving.
So get the fuck out of here.
Where you come from?
You get the fuck out of here. I come from your mother, bitch.
Really?
You, bitch.
No, you didn't.
Fuck out of here.
Why are you mad at us?
Don't fucking suck some
We
dick.
can be here on the street. This is public street.
No, get the
We have the
fuck
First
outta here,
Amendment.
nigga. This all black.
Yeah, and he says, we have the First Amendment. Where is it, Nick? Can we smell it? Can we see it? Can we touch it? Or is it purely in your imagination? Yeah, he doesn't understand that whatsoever.
You bitch ass nigga. Get the fuck
This is your
out of
block?
here. Yeah, motherfucker. So somebody spend this motherfucker and take the camera with
I can be here. I don't have anything to be worried about because I'm not doing anything illegally. You see what happens? He'll come in from other countries.
Yeah, he's very obsessed with the law. It's all imaginary, all in his head. He's just at the bottom of the system. As if he will never see the light. He will just never get out of it. He's also religious, by the way. That's a different story, but also part of it.
Legally, they get mad at you on the streets of the United States. Then they shouldn't be doing stuff illegally.
Yes, the laws of today, they are all based on morals and religions. Pretty much 99% are religious. It's the same thing. Religions, laws, morals, it's all the same. It's the same as being part of a religion. And it just suits him, of course, because he is, I think, a Mormon. He follows Jesus, the other Jesus. If he would follow the real Jesus, then he wouldn't be there.
Then they shouldn't be doing stuff illegally.
That's not your fucking business what you do. You don't even
Hey, hey. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, hey. I will smash this bitch. Hey. We're out.
This is the most interesting conversation he had. Unfortunately, it flew right over his head.
Strung up on that.
Yeah, because women can play.
He's also one of the first people who started saying woman instead of women online.
Well, men that switch over to become women can now play in women's sports, go into women's locker
Women's sports, women's lockers.
rooms. Do you think that's right?
I wouldn't say that's right. When I say like women's rights, I mostly
And she says women. And nothing really from this interview somehow got through to him. This is, of course, nothing. I'm going to show you why I'm actually showing you this now.
You would tell me if you would vote for this candidate. So let's say a man named Ricky Bobby was president of the United States, all right? Ricky Bobby let in a lot of illegal immigrants into the country, and it turns out that over 400,000 of those illegal immigrants that are let into the country were convicted criminals in other countries, and out of those 400,000, 13,000 of them were murders, and 11,000 of those people that crossed into the United States were also offenders. Would you vote for Ricky Bobby once again?
Probably wouldn't, but then again, I wouldn't just judge off that because those murderers, what if those are just people that was in the army or the military? So you got people that, murder people in that military. You call them just a group of murderers?
No, it's like gang members from like Trinidad, Araguas, and other
Oh, you
cartels.
said it was gang members? I thought you just said murderers. Like, just...
Yeah, because they're
Nick doesn't understand what he's trying to say. He's saying, what if they worked for the army, some kind of company other than the cartel or whatever? There's many companies also there. Nick doesn't understand at all. He doesn't even comprehend whatsoever what the guy is saying. the guy is just way more clever than him. He was actually probably the smartest guy Nick ever interviewed, and Nick probably never understood this.
Murderers that lived in those countries and they were part of gangs like MS-13 or trained Araguas.
But my question is, if somebody was in the military and they murdered multiple people, are they a murderer?
I do not believe so. Like that would make like Navy SEALs and stuff.
Did they murder people?
They killed people in defense of the country, but
He says they kill people in defense of the country, which you could say is true, of course. But what's the definition of murder? Let's look it up. To kill a person unlawfully, that's the key word. I'll explain to you why. And unjustifiably with premeditated malice. Is it premeditated when they go on a mission? Whatever company they work for? Obviously 100% because they plan it. So it's 100% premeditated. The killing of somebody. There's no arguing about that. And unjustifiably, it depends on who defines the word and who defines justice. Wouldn't everybody justify what they do? Of course, everybody has a reason for why they do what they do. I'm not talking about eliminating somebody. I'm talking about in general, in your life. You just do what you do for a reason. So you can justify anything. But what they are referring to is more so the law. And that's why it says unlawfully. Because when you kill somebody biologically, they simply die. No matter what animal you kill, they simply die. And that's it. That's all that there is naturally to it. And the reason why this may not make absolute sense is because you haven't seen the definition of to or to commit, because this really defines it the way it is. And it says a charge of armed assault, obviously, in any case anyway, no matter what company you talk about, with intent to murder. That's it. And that's really all that there is to it. It also says they murder for money, which is what you do, right? If you work for the Navy SEALs, for example, you are a contract by definition of the term. That's what you are. You sign a contract and then you are given a job to go and kill people, to murder them. What else is it? It's what it is. Nick doesn't understand this whatsoever. Nick doesn't understand what the guy is saying. Because to him, because the companies work for the government, oftentimes they're also independent, it depends. But they sign a contract with these companies, they work for them, whether it's direct or indirect, and then the government allows them to go and do that, whatever the mission may be. There's something important that I should add to this. No matter what countries the companies are based in, none of which exists anyway, it's all based on ideas, but for the sake of the argument, I'll go along with it, seeing as most people believe in it. Even if the companies or the countries would decide that it's lawful to do that in the other countries, if it would ever be done in their own countries, then they would call it unlawful. Point being, just because they don't call it unlawful because it's done in other countries doesn't make it lawful in the countries that they do it in. In those countries, they are still considered kills and mass. It doesn't change anything if the companies themselves decide that it's fine to do it. The people that they do it to, and the people who are affected by it, everybody in the country, the politicians, still would never see it as lawful. Therefore, whatever they themselves call it is irrelevant, seeing as it's not done in their own countries. A gang is a group of persons working, again, to unlawful or anti-social ends. Then again, what the other companies do, does it not go against society? Can you do that to regular people? No, of course, you don't even do it in the open. So that doesn't make any sense anyway. And again, unlawful simply means we have gangs that work for companies, but when they are protected by something invisible, such as the constitution or the law, which we cannot sense with any of our senses, meaning that there's no natural difference, then it's okay. It's as if they're not a gang. But then when you look at them, they are all tattooed. In reality, it's just a group of people. That's really all that a gang is. It just has a different connotation to it in our modern society, but originally that's all that it meant. Just a gang of birds or whatever. The word always used to mean a group of animals, essentially. That's it. Let's look at these photos. Compare this one to this one to this one without thinking at all. Just follow your common sense. Did you actually see any difference between them just now? If you're honest with yourself, you will have to say, no, it's just people with masks on, covering up who they are, with weapons, geared to attack to people. That's the companies they work for. They are hired to people, for the most part. It's not all that they do, but that's essentially their job. These are the original photos. I didn't change anything about this one. In this one, I removed the company logo. That's all that it is. At its core, that's the only change that I made, and same here. Without that, you for sure cannot tell the difference. And even with that, you really can't. I just wanted to remove it because the logo of the company shouldn't be visible. There's, of course, smaller and bigger companies out there, but at its core, they just work for a company and they do their job.
The
So it's
intent-
like-
so you saying the
Bah.
intent matters?
Huh? I do.
intent matters?
The intent does matter.
No, I'm
right?
saying if you call a group of murderers,
Yes, and again, you can justify anything. You can say that you had the intent to do whatever you want to do. The intent is just something that you use as a justification for doing the same as the other companies. And as I said, they don't even really have much of an intent. They get told to go and people and then they go and do it. That's it. They don't really have an intent behind it, not really. They just get told what to do.
what's the difference if this person killed 5 people and this person killed 5 people? One was for the army, one was for his main gang.
Absolutely no difference. Biologically, naturally, just nothing whatsoever. But in Nick's mind, there's a difference because he's delusional, essentially. Very, very naive, not living in this reality.
That's why I say it's a touchy subject. Now, if you're saying if it's just multiple people
It's a
they're putting
nuanced
in
conversation for
Even she understands it.
or anything like that, then yeah, I wouldn't feel that way. But if those group of murderers includes people that murdered for their country, then that's why it's a touchy subject to me. I get what you're trying to do, but I'm like, nah, I wouldn't vote for that person if it was for those like and everything like that, people little kids,
Yeah.
all that. Yeah, I get that.
I get that.
But then ultimately, I think no person is perfect.
Yeah, no
You got
person
people-
perfect by any means, but like when they bring up the word murder, they're not talking about people that served in their military.
You see the words that he uses, such as served. They always use a different word for the same thing because the language is supposed to trick you. It's there to manipulate you. That's it. You say serve as if it means something else. Somebody who works for the cartel, they also serve them.
Or else like that. Or else a lot of people in the military would be behind bars if they're considered as.
Right, but they aren't behind bars because they work for a company which is sponsored by the people who made up the law, which, as I said, you cannot sense with any of your senses. That's it. That's the only difference. Naturally, in reality, name me a difference. You won't be able to find one. And Nick doesn't get this. Also, when we look at Nick, he is in his early 20s. He does not look healthy. I don't say that to offend the guy at all, but we can see that he has a lot of stress for sure, but he also eats absolute garbage. He pretty much looks older than me. in that specific shot there. I noticed that when I watch these videos, he always drinks soda, eats grain sludge, really unnatural life overall. His mindset, his perspective, but also everything he eats. And then he travels a lot and does a lot of videos, yes, but it's not gonna make you look like that. That's also food for a very big part. The live stream also had the stupidest comments when he was talking.
I wouldn't just judge off that because those murderers, what if those are just people that was in the army or military? So you got people that murder people in the military. You call them just murderers?
No, it's like gang members from like Trinidad, Rock,
Like you said, it was gang members, you just said murderers, like this.
All of these people, completely blind, just have no connection to reality, putting question marks, they just don't comprehend his intellect. Really, as I said, that was probably the smartest guy he ever interviewed. Not that I've seen most of his videos, I've only seen a few.
That would make like Navy SEALs and stuff.
And they said that's not then what is it?
They murder people?
They kill people in defense of the country, but so it's
And somebody even says low IQ. That's just insanely ironic.
So you saying that intent matters?
huh? I do. The intent does matter.
No, I'm saying if you call a group of murderers.
Yeah, well, there's no argument against, as far as I can see. I didn't read every single comment, but you get the reaction because those kind of people watch his videos. None of them understand what's going on, actually, what kind of system we actually live in. This is a guy who worked for a special operations company. You will see what their mindset is, and you can compare if it's any different to other people out there, let's just say.
You know, it might hit me in my body armor, it might hit me in the leg. So what are the chances of me actually dying? It's slim, because I'm the aggressor, I'm the trained soldier. But
He is the aggressor, meaning that he is the he is there to kill.
by the time I get in and finish the job, all my power is on my back.
And of course, he also has the tattoos. You will see also all the police officers and anybody who's part of any gang, they will have usually something that connects them, whether it's a uniform or something else. Oftentimes it's tattoos.
He will come in and finish the job. So the likelihood of them getting a kill shot is very, very slim. So
this
the
is
odds
an
are with
assessment
me.
you make before you move in.
Repetition. I made these assessments after kicking 10, 15 doors down. You just learn to use this emotion. You learn to sort of do these calculations in your head very, very quickly.
How many have you killed?
I don't look at, you know, I've taken a lot of lives, but what I do remember is not necessarily the people that I've killed, because obviously I'm the first man in. I've done 3 tours of Afghanistan. I'm kicking doors down on a daily basis. We're hunting down Taliban commanders. It's, you know, the list goes on. But what I do remember is not pulling that trigger. What people must remember, that my job is to conserve life, is to save life.
Yes, exactly. That makes sense. You kill people to conserve lives. Yes. Yep.
I only take life when there's a level of evil that's been surpassed.
Right, and the evil is what he was told by the company. So he kicks down doors. He said 10 to 15. Who knows how many people he killed. And he's sitting there on a talk show now. And somebody who doesn't work for a company and does the same gets a death penalty or life in prison. You understand what's going on? Only because you work for a different company, which is approved and sponsored by the system. That's it. What's the difference? You cannot name a difference. And he's just chilling there.
Or I'm in immediate threat, or my pals are in there's immediate danger to life. But what I do remember is being stood there, and I could have taken a shot. And every time, you know, it just wasn't right, and I took my finger off the trigger. Those are the times that I do remember. Now,
But do you think about the fact that you've killed a lot of people that are someone's father?
No.
You are the father of 5 yourself?
No. No, not at all. Like I said, there's good and there's evil in this world. I'm a good man.
He's the good guy. He signs up for a company. They train him to people. Then they send him to a foreign country to kick in doors and to people. He is, by every definition of the word, a killer. but he's a good guy. That's their mindset. They really believe this. They're so disconnected from reality, just like Nick Shirley, that they actually go through their lives believing this.
That. And if you surpass, like I said, if you surpass a certain threshold of evil, then you do not deserve to be walking this planet. And that's how I saw it. I never saw it as...
Right, but you have to understand that the people on the other side see you that way. You do understand it, right?
And it was never personal. I never saw it as this is someone's,
Exactly, because there's no intent behind it. It's just blind order following. That's it.
Listen, it's one of those, if
you can also tell that his tone is changing. He feels kind of attacked. This, listen, I need to justify myself here.
You live by the sword, then you must expect to die by the sword. It's just, again, taking extreme ownership of yourself, holding yourself accountable. Listen, if you...
Yes, okay, and what were the people in the foreign country exactly doing to you in the UK? Yeah, that he will never be able to explain. Because he's a robot, he just went there and did his job.
But we train our whole lives to do that. I wanted that fight at the highest order. Yeah.
He calls it a fight. In reality, and that's natural for a human being, seeing as we are predators, he just wanted to do what he naturally wants to do. That's all clear. I'm not saying anything against that, but he just doesn't understand who he works for. That's the big difference. He believes that there's a difference between him and the other side, the people he was not even fighting against, because there was no fight anyway in this specific situation.
My whole career to fight, and when it came, it was just like, you allow me to do my job. There is the other side.
In case you don't understand what I'm saying, imagine if he was told to go to Tajikistan nearby, or doesn't matter, Vietnam once again, Japan, Montenegro. He would have done it. You understand what I mean? There's no intent behind what they do. There's no thinking. There's nothing. They are simply trained robots with no thoughts of their own. And when the company tells them, hop into the plane or the helicopter, we are gonna go and commit mass and you will become a notorious then they just do that. You understand? They just go, and if somebody tells them, go and kick in this door and everybody inside, they just go and do that. That's it. There's no thinking whatsoever with these people.
But I love my job. I prioritize my job over my family, over my children.
He loves the job. Again, I'm not saying anything against it. It's understandable why he likes it.
Children, and I'm not proud of that, but I did. It was just...
And he says, I'm not proud of that, but you love your job and you talk about it as if you enjoyed it so much. But he just has to throw it out there. I'm not proud of that. Yeah, you're super proud of it. Come on, man. We can see that.
I was waiting for that call, first, I want to be the first man through that door. Use me. You've trained, you spent millions on me, training me.
Also, what he means by training him is what I showed you in another video about the military. There's all kinds of companies that train these people, and the aim is to really just push them into the ground. There's a lot of involved, a lot of suffering every day. And when a human being is pushed to the absolute limits, they just cannot wait to go and get revenge. And in their delusional heads, the revenge is on the people that they go and eliminate in the missions, because they want to somehow get the aggression out. They want to get revenge on somebody, but they won't get it on the people who did it to them in the companies, so they will go and do it in the foreign countries, or sometimes also there's domestic missions.
6 months after leaving, I ended up in an altercation with the law, and I ended up serving 4 months in prison.
What happened?
The way he says the law, it's as if he really sees it or smells it. He really imagines it. The law, it's there. We can sense it. It's real.
I got into a nightclub altercation, and I ended up having a fight with a police officer. I was intoxicated. It was a clash of authority, basically. I reflected in prison about the time that I spent in the military and what I need to do to fit into society.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because they are so power hungry. They kind of get a taste of how it would be in nature when you would be a warrior with your clan or gang. The company that he worked for is actually a organization. They invaded Afghanistan and other countries together with other companies. This video was of course not about him, it was about Nick Shirley, but I wanted to show you how these people function, what they think, and how delusional they are. Just like most people on earth. And it's all because of language, because language has bewitched most people, for lack of a better word. People look at the same action and see something else because of a different company name. That's all that's going on, or a company logo, colors, whatever it may be. Nick Shirley is the same as all people, and that's why his content appeals to millions of people, not to the left-wingers. That's true, he doesn't appeal to everybody. If you want to appeal to everybody, then leave out politics. And if you don't want to appeal to almost anybody at all, then you have to be pro-nature. And then you have to talk against politics in general. Then you're against the right and the left side. And I'm of course referring to content like mine. That people really cannot stand. It's when you go against all popular opinions and beliefs. But then again, there's some people out there who understand what's actually going on because of my videos. And for that reason alone, it's absolutely worth it for me to go against 99% of people. Thanks for watching.